Hello, this is Brian. Today is Monday, October 18th, 2021. I am along Breckenridge Mountain Road on Breckenridge Mountain in northern Kern County. And I'm going to do a spotlight on shrubs video today. And today's video is going to focus on a pretty common fixture in Southern California and in the Sierra Nevada. And that is called Sierra Currant. And this is Ribes nevadense, R-I-B-E-S N-E-V-A-D-E-N-S-E. A lot of people probably pronounce it ribes, but I keep it a little closer to the original Latin. So Ribes nevadense. So it's a member of the gooseberry / currant family, the Grossulariaceae. It is usually a medium to sometimes quite large winter-deciduous shrub. As you can see here, mid-October, the leaves are starting to change color. And this can be a very common fixture in moister mountain areas, especially in north-facing slopes, canyon gullies, and in yellow pine forests. Here we're predominantly sugar pine and Sierra white fir. Again, we're in Kern County in Breckenridge Mountain, so we're not that far from the Sierras. But this is also pretty common in a lot of other places I film my spotlights, as in the San Gabriel Mountains, the San Bernardinos, the San Jacinto Mountains. These shrubs are quite common there. I believe Palomar Mountain, probably the Cuyamacas. So it's pretty widespread here in the state of California. And so these shrubs are comprised of these very gently lobed leaves, usually 5 lobes. So it's pretty common. And they're usually a lighter green color during the growing season. As right now they're starting to dull in and starting to change yellow. You see here, this is fairly typical. And so in autumn they usually turn kind of a dullish yellow to a brownish color, but sometimes some reddish hues, reddish orangish hues might be possible. And I'll show you a couple of examples of some plants in the area that are starting to change a little bit of those colors. It's not quite as brilliant as some of the other gooseberries and currants, which are closely related to each other in the genus Ribes, R-I-B-E-S again. One thing is the leaves on these currants are a little bit larger than a lot of our gooseberry and currant species. So definitely a lot more noticeable. The leaves are kind of, like I said, 5 lobes, so they're kind of maple shaped. They're kind of maple shaped because there is a species of maple with which this might be confused called Acer glabrum, mountain maple or Rocky Mountain maple. However, when there's no fruit on the gooseberries and currants, like I said, it can be confused with it. However, what you're going to look at is alternately arranged leaves. You see the leaves are alternately arranged on the stem. Then you got these bright green, very pointy buds. The maples, the mountain maples, which are usually a little bit taller and a little more upright, their leaves are oppositely arranged on the stem. And then come springtime, we get these clusters or racemes of whitish flowers. I believe whitish or sometimes pinkish. They can be kind of noticeable. They're not large, but the flowers are pretty small. But they come on these little racemes. And then after the flowers are gone, come these roundish fruits. You see, this is the general shape of it. It's an old shriveled one. The fruits have been The fruits have been generally picked off by probably a lot of them dropped, and a lot of them have been picked off by the fauna in the area. Squirrels, birds, especially birds love these currants. And they turn bluish when they're ripe. So as you can see here, part of the old flower piece, that brown piece at the tip, right over here, is still connected to the fruit when it ripens. So right here, so they're kind of roundish and they're kind of lightish bluish colors, kind of like a waxy bluish bloom on the cover of these fruits. And as far as I know, they're supposed to be edible. And like I said, you want to do your research before you're just taking somebody else's word for it. But from what I understand, they're supposed to be edible and these plants can produce a lot of fruit, especially during wetter years. This year it looks like they produced a fair amount, even though this was a drought year. But I'm going to go down here where there's a smaller thicket. That's actually a pretty fairly large shrub. Before I do that, so I can show you some of the other fall colors on this shrub, we're looking at here the bark. The bark is generally a lightish gray, relatively smooth, and then further down the stem, you'll get these little white horizontal lines on them. They probably won't be too visible on the camera, but those are called lenticels. A lot of plants in the rose family, the roezlii, have those type of horizontal lines. So, but again, this is in the Grossulariaceae, the gooseberry / currant family. Here's another thicket of them right here, and they can form extensive thickets. Unlike gooseberries, to which they're very closely related again, they do not have thorns or spines on the stems, nor do they have spines on the fruits, like the gooseberries. So that's another way you can tell that this is a currant, a C-U-R-R-A-N-T. So again, we're not going to get usually not going to get a really humongous fall color show out of these, but you occasionally will get maybe some slight oranging on some of them. Maybe some slight reddish tinges, like on this one here. This one actually has a few hints of red on them, which is actually, it can be quite pleasing. And there's some more down there that are starting to get some orangish hues. But it's closely related Sierra Gooseberry, Ribes roezlii, variety roezlii, usually gets more of the red. And here's a Sierra Gooseberry, Ribes roezlii, variety roezlii. Look on the stems, you can see the spines. These are spiny. They have spines on them, and they're very sharp. So that's how you know that this is an actual gooseberry. But again, it's a close relative of the currant. And then their fall color generally gets more reddish. And this is another plant you can find a lot in the mountains of Southern California, as is in the Sierras. You can see the fruits here are spinier. So this is Ribes roezlii, variety roezlii. So let's go ahead and call this a double spotlight video. So now we're going to switch over from the Sierra currant, Ribes nevadense, to Ribes roezlii, variety roezlii. So the leaf shapes are very simple, or very simple. They're simple leaves, and they're somewhat similarly shaped. You can see here that the leaves are lobed. Again, kind of like the currants, the Sierra currants. They're not as deeply lobed, but again, they usually have more of a richer green color. Maybe sometimes a little shinier. But on Ribes roezlii, variety roezlii, the leaves are often much smaller. So you can see here, these leaves are a lot tinier than the Sierra currant. And again, look at, they turn very nice colors from they start off sometimes with yellow, then they integrate into orange, red, and pastel colors. So while the shrubs may not be very large, and you're not going to get like a huge color display from afar, if you take the time to go up close to one of these, you can really appreciate how beautiful the colors change in autumn. Like right here, some of these are starting to grade into wine red, almost like a pastel and wine red coloring. And again, just be careful when you get up close, because the fruits and the twigs are spiny, very spiny. So these ones can prick you and cause you to bleed. So, and again, they're fruits. The fruits on these guys are prickly. So you can see here, this is what a mature fruit looks like. Very prickly on Ribes roezlii, variety roezlii. And again, just like Sierra currant, it's another common fixture in moister areas, especially in the understory of conifer forest, in woodlands, from mid-elevation to quite high up. I've seen these at over 9,000 feet along the Devil's Backbone Trail going up to Mount San Antonio, aka Mount Baldy. So I've seen them quite high in elevation. I think they might go a little higher than Sierra currant, but I'm not sure exactly how high the Sierra currant goes. But again, understory of mixed conifer forest, oak woodland, and riparian corridors, like along moist areas, the edge of meadows, streams, rivers, creeks, ponds, and then just shady areas underneath these forest trees. So again, here's Ribes roezlii, variety roezlii, Sierra Gooseberry. And this one hasn't really started coloring too much yet. These leaves are a little larger, but again, the spines on these plants, the spines can be very prickly. And again, Sierra Currant, Ribes nevadense, no spines. Blue fruit, blue smooth fruit in the summertime. Kind of reddish, prickly fruit in late summer as well. So I hope that can help you tell the difference between Sierra Gooseberry, Ribes nevadense, and Sierra Currant. Yeah, Sierra Currant, Ribes nevadense. I'm sorry, I got tripped up there. Sierra Currant, Ribes nevadense, and Ribes roezlii, variety roezlii, the Sierra Gooseberry. Been needing to spotlight these for a while. And here's another gooseberry that's kind of all flattened and probably picked clean. But figured it was time to spotlight these. Wanted to show them off a little bit in fall color so you can kind of see what they look like in fall. And I hope you found this video informative and how to tell two sometimes confused species in the genus Ribes. And of course, currants and gooseberries. Remember, currants smooth fruit and gooseberries prickly fruit. So that will conclude my spotlight on shrubs for Sierra Currant and Sierra Gooseberry. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on another spotlight on shrubs, trees, or whatever comes my way. Thanks for watching.